back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. A delivery of fencing supplies arrived this week, so I spent some time counting to make sure everything was there. And now we will be able to progressively work on our fencing projects, both building new fences and taking down the old ones. And on the topic of fencing, we had to do some very last minute temporary fencing a few days ago. It was late in the afternoon and the guys who own the cows had been in and they'd been vaccinating them, and we thought they'd just put them back into the paddock that they'd come from. But what they'd actually done is move them in to the paddock where we'd remove some of the fence to prepare for the shed. We had told them that we were removing fences, but they'd obviously forgotten it, and they just popped the cows in there and didn't let us know. So we got a call from the people who own the horse here in a little bit of panic because there were cows in the damn paddock and there was no fence, and the gate down into the bush was also open. So he quickly jumped on his four-wheeler and went down and closed the gate across into the bush. And then we got out and we made a temporary fence. Pretty good temporary fence, actually. We got some star pickets that we had laying around. We found some old plastic clips that you use for putting the hot wire through. And we put 2 rows of hot wire connecting the current fence on either side with this piece of temporary fence in the place where we'd cut out the gate and the fence. And we even managed to connect it to the existing electric fence, so it is all running properly, and if the cows touch it they're going to get zapped so that they won't be able to come in to the area where the shed slab is being set up, or where all of our materials for the shed are. Something we've been experimenting with but that I haven't talked about yet here is that we bought a food dehydrator, and we've been playing around with using it on different fruit and vegetables, just experimenting to see how we are going to use it. Along the lines of what I've spoken about a number of times about no waste and preserving food, and I've showed you how I've made jam and apple butter and things like that before. And this is another way that we can preserve our harvest and also not waste food. So far we've made banana, apple and sweet potato chips, which have all been really successful. We've also dried the fronds off fennel and then ground it up into a powder and added it to salt. And that's been a really tasty flavoured salt that we can put onto fish and meat. It's been really great. We've also made fruit roll-ups. So from the stewed rhubarb that we had, we blended that down and we used that. We've also done some juicing of veggies and fruit and then repulped that out and blended that down and put that in as a fruit roll-up as well. So something that we were able to get 2 uses out of, which was really quite cool. And all of these have been really good. Our most recent experiment is that we started to try and dehydrate our broad beans. I showed a few weeks ago that we had quite a lot and we've eaten a lot fresh, but they're getting to the point now where they're pretty much at the end of their season. So we picked everything off the bushes and potted them, and then I blanched them in some warm water just really quickly, then laid them out on the sheets and put them in the dehydrator. They have come out, they look kind of like little stones now. But the idea will be that we will then be able to pop them into soups or stews throughout winter, and they should plump up and become like fresh broad beans again. It's really good that we're able to find ways to use all of our veggies and preserve them, use what we can seasonally, and then preserve and save the additional vegetables so that we can use them year round. First, a blanket squares update for you. I'm currently at 63 knitted. After I finished my lamina wrap, I've really gotten back into knitting those little squares. They're quite satisfying to have that little project and have it done and then move on and do another one, and they're becoming a little bit addictive at this point. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to start blocking the squares that I have already, just so that I can start to get a better idea of what the finished size of the blanket might be. In doing that, I'm going to have to think of a way in which each of the squares gets blocked to the same size. Measuring them out may leave some inconsistencies, so I'm thinking perhaps I get a piece of plastic like an ice cream container or something and cut it out to the size that I want, and then use that as a template to block all of the squares out, and that way I know that they're going to be 100% the same size. And speaking of blocking, I released a really quick video showing you how I blocked my lamina wrap. I will link it in the card above, and I'll also put it in the description box below. It's just a little glimpse into how I blocked my shawl, and I hope that you enjoy it. Another small knitting project that I've been working on now for a little while is the knitting of dishcloths and cleaning cloths with cotton. Again, it's become a little bit of an obsession for me. They're easy to knit, so it's a good little mindless project to do. And they're also super useful, and we're using them all the time. So I want to make sure that we have enough and that we also know what their purpose is. So what I've decided to do is, I was already knitting on a green peacock colour, and that will be for kitchen benches and cleaning of dishes. And I've also got an orange in an 8-ply that I will use for making the scrubs for the kitchen, which have been quite good. And then I bought 2 new colours this week. The first one that I bought is this latte colour, and I couldn't resist. I figured that this would be a good colour to use for wiping down the coffee machine, so it keeps the coffee machine wipes separate from the ones that we're wiping down the benches with. And then I bought ice blue, and I thought this would be good for all of the other cleaning jobs that we have. So for windows and mirrors and bathroom, dusting, anything that's not in the kitchen. So I'm going to start working on making these. I've got these 2 big balls, and I've also still got a big ball of the peacock colour. I'll just progressively work on making different sizes in each of the different colours, so we have them on hand and we don't run out. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.